efficient so far?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Great, excellent. Thank you so much for joining the session today. So my name is Suzanne. I'll give you a bit of a background about me in a moment. And today's session, as you know, as you can see, is all about digital business transformation. Big word, means lots of different things, and we're going to refine and define a little bit more what that actually means and how can you actually get started with digital business transformation today. Transformation is a big word. It doesn't have to mean something massively grand, but it's actually, as we all know as leaders, sometimes it's a couple of tweaks, 2-3 different tweaks in your business, in your operations, that could actually make all the difference. So I just want to warn you in advance, I don't want to overwhelm you with lots of information, and look, 'cause normally when I meet people and do consultations and workshops, they also walk out with a massive to-do list. Actually, it's a good thing in a way, because as a consequence of today, and especially when you hear ideas, please don't hesitate to mark those ideas down. And actually, we're going to do a few interactive parts as well. So great to see that you both have your notebooks or pads. If you could, have you got a piece of paper or anything? Great. If you could share one with Dean as well, that would be great. And we're going to take a couple of notes, so at least let's really benefit from this, because I've been to a lot of seminars, and I think sometimes it's a bit passive. We're just listening, we go away with lots of ideas, but actually not much happens. So let's see, and I really want your feedback at the end as well. Was this actually beneficial for you? You know, are you going to implement some of these actions? And it's all very, very meaningful into how to actually attract more of your ideal clients. So that's what this session is all about, how to attract more of your ideal clients in an enjoyable and efficient way, rather than looking at it as a stressful and ongoing pain in the arse kind of thing, because it can be hard and it's continuous. And when we're working alone in the business, and some of us have a team, some of us working alone, some of us growing the team, maybe with a partner, it's still, there's so much responsibility and actually can get a little bit lonely sometimes. So actually, before we even move forward, I really just want you to be really proud that you are actually here, because a lot of people, as you may know, and you probably know a lot of these people, they talk about how they want to do things with their business. They talk about ideas and dreams and goals, but unfortunately, only very few actually go ahead and do that. And why is that? So it's not about not knowing what to do, but it's also removing some of those barriers along the way. So I might be a little bit thought-provoking today, because we have to be honest with ourselves, don't we, in order to move forward really quickly. So I want you to congratulate yourselves, and actually, you know, I would like you to stand up just for a moment, and because there's only 4 of us at the moment, so what I would like to do is actually congratulate each other and say that we are the best. And what I would like you to do with that, and actually to all of you, is to high five with both of your hands.
Elbows.
And say, elbows, let's do elbows, yeah, that's better. And say, we are the best. Okay, so did you just get up?
We are the best.
And then around as well.
Oh, I did too. We are the best. We are the best. We are the best.
New way of communicating. Let's see how long that lasts in that way. Thanks, great. And yeah, some people say, oh, that's a bit uncomfortable. But hey, you know what? We're all constantly quite uncomfortable in business, aren't we? And actually, what I really want you to share after today is share your energy with other people. Because it's your energy that people buy into. Whether that's like big, great energy, or whether that's reflective, whatever type of person you are, we're going to talk about your personal brand a little bit more later on. But your personal self-talk, it's the most important thing in business, because you could wake up in the morning and say, oh, can't be bothered, it takes really long time to achieve certain things, when actually one day you wake up and you achieve loads. What makes that difference? It's that clarity and vision and purpose. But we'll come back to that a bit later. So what we're going to do during these talks, I'm just going to give you a brief introduction to me and DiscoverChange, what we're all about. And then we're going to look at how to actually leverage business transformation, what that means and how can you get started today. So it's not just talk, but actually concrete actions. How to digitalize your lead generation. Lead generation is all about how do you acquire your customers, basically, in simple terms. That's quite a common term, but not everyone always knows what that means. It's similar to a sales funnel. Any of you heard of a sales funnel before? Yeah? Okay, great. So sales funnel is basically how do you get people into the funnel, increasing awareness of your business, and then getting them to consume something from you that really is value-driven, really beneficial for them. And we're going to explore what you can do after today to actually implement this simply in your business as well. Because it's all about adding value. It's all about giving more value to your customers, because you want to be known as that person or that business that is the best. You're the expert in your field, basically. And then we're going to have a look at how to get started with digital innovation. And also, I'm going to give you a free gift at the end of the session. So when you stay until the end, I'm just going to give you some access to some free resources to really hit the ground running. So very quickly, just what is innovation? Because this is a very common term. We say about innovation or business innovation is important. What does that actually mean? Any ideas or thoughts on that? What do you think?
Just something fresh idea.
Yes, fresh ideas, absolutely. What do you think?
Doing something in a new way.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely. What would you say?
Those. I'm trying to think of anything different.
Well, you said earlier on as well about really interacting with your customers, and what do you help them to identify or accomplish?
Strengths.
Their strengths. Yeah. That's not necessarily, is that innovation? But it could be, because you're bringing a new approach to that, aren't you? You're really looking at the whole background, their strengths, even weaknesses can sometimes be our strengths, isn't it? So you've got a new way of doing something that makes all that difference with your customers. What about you? What would you say about innovation? What is that all about?
To me, for me personally, it's about if there's a field full of white sheep, I want to be the black sheep because I want people to notice me. I want to stand out from the crowd, and I want to be doing something. I'm still a sheep. I'm still coaching people. I'm still working with people, but I stand out from all the rest of them. So
100%.
I think that's innovation.
Definitely.
Marketing yourself differently.
I love that. Marketing yourself differently as well, because none of us want to be a pushy salesperson, and there's a lot of misuse of social media, and it puts us off, and it puts us in the same category, oh, you're one of these again. So actually, how can we do that and exclude all of that nonsense and frustration and not feeling bad about social media? And a lot of the time, actually, when it comes to social media, it's innovation at its best. And actually, the more creative you are and thought-provoking you are, the better results you can get, more traction you get. Obviously, we want to be respectful. There are all kinds of opinions about that, but from my point of view, you should be respectful. However, we spend a lot of time on social media these days without actually the post not leading anywhere, maybe not social media, maybe on the phone calls, emails, and they don't always lead somewhere. So how can we minimize that time waste and frustration so that you can just focus on providing the best value to the customers that are absolutely hungry for your knowledge? So there's already a queue of people waiting to buy from you. There's someone having sleepless nights thinking about how am I going to resolve this problem, and it's bothering me every day. Sometimes you provide holistic therapies as well. Sometimes the troubles are so deep that it's taking away their whole health and well-being. So these are really serious things, and actually if we market our product in the right way and branding comes first, and we're going to go through a very specific flow chart, actually how to identify the different areas of lead generation. Because lead generation is a big thing, actually. There's a lot of different things. But how can we really show to the customers that you care? You know exactly what they're going through, but we can be subtle about that instead of being that pushy person. So indeed, definitely a combination of everything that you said. It's an application of better solutions that maybe meet new requirements or existing market needs. Some people say, well, I don't need social media. Fine, you don't need social media. And actually, social media has only existed a couple of decades. And before that, there were lots of successful businesses. So it's not just social media, it's how you use that particular platform, whether that's social media, emailing, cold calling, whatever that might be. But it's how do you use that, but also match that with existing target or market needs, so your target market's needs. So if you're, for example, promoting something to a CEO, a 2-hour seminar isn't going to, or webinar isn't probably going to hit the spot, because what do CEOs need? They're very busy. So what could we give them instead of, a 2-hour long webinar? We could provide them some other kind of value, like an ebook or a shorter webinar, 5-minute webinar. There are all kinds of ways that we can do this and really provide excellent value. Hiya, join us. Yeah, carry on, have a seat. If you just want to have a seat, just there next to the gentleman there, and we're going to do a couple of interactive bits later on. So why do we need innovation? Because there's no point in just saying, all this stuff that we need to do, as if you didn't have enough on your plate as it is now. So actually, why do we need innovation? What's the point? I always ask, I'm a why person. I say, why should I? Lovely student, aren't I? Yeah, I've always been like that, by the way. So why do we need innovation in business? What do you think?
To grow and keep evolving.
Keep evolving?
There's better ways of answering the current problems.
Yes.
Just haven't yet found them.
Totally. I love that. And actually, exactly what I'm kind of looking after is, what are the problems currently? Because don't we a lot of the time, I don't know if, I'm going to be very honest and open with you, but I'm sometimes guilty of saying, no, it's fine, it doesn't, I'm fine, it's going to go away. It doesn't go away, does it? The problem keeps growing and growing and growing until you're out of control. And either your project, controls you, or you control the project and the business. We have to be in full control. And actually, if there's a lot of stresses, frustrations in business, or something keeps frustrating you on a daily basis, we simply just need to say, you know what, I've had enough of this. Let's find out something else. But instead of us, and I've been working as a consultant, business consultant and trainer for a long time now, and me included in the beginning especially, investing all kinds of nonsense. We think that a website is going to resolve the problems, or but actually, or SEO, without actually, people invest in SEO without even having a website. We do all kinds of weird things, don't we? But we don't know, because there's a really good salesperson at the end and they say, you don't have SEO. You need to have SEO. What kind of business are you? You need to take this seriously. So who do we know? Who to listen to? What to actually do with the business? But it has to start with your vision and actually what you want to achieve. And while I'm just talking for the next couple of minutes, have also a think about what is your actual vision for your business and for your life, because business is really the gateway to the lifestyle you really want, isn't it? But only if it's set up in the right way. So what it's needed indeed is make things a bit easier, because let's face it, management and growing your business, managing your business is not that easy. I wish we could say differently, but we can't. But we didn't start it because we think it's easy. We started it anyway because there's great rewards in it, and we can truly create massive change in people, in businesses, in our environment, and I'm really passionate about that. So let's make life a little bit easier. And indeed, it's all about actually creating the environment where you can achieve what you want. Because, I don't know, some people are a bit of a TNA, as I like to say, talk, no action. Everybody wants lots of money, right? There's nothing special about wanting lots of money, wanting success, or having big impact in the world. But actually, are our actions matching the vision? Sometimes the vision is here, but our actions are here. So we need to learn what actions to take every single day. And actually, I'd love to say that it doesn't require a lot of work. It requires some work, but it requires discipline, and it requires clarity and direction and exact purpose. What are you exactly doing? And sometimes it's really easy to get lost in that. So just a very brief background about me. So I guess a couple of people I've spoken to earlier, actually, you know where I'm from. So I haven't seen you before. So where do you think my accent is from? Just very quickly.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Don't worry. I've heard it all, I think. So.
I travel around Europe with a job. So I would go Scandinavia?
Yes, absolutely. One country in Scandinavia. Yeah.
Is it Finland?
It is Finland. Have you ever met any Finnish people before? No. Do you know what? You probably have, but they don't talk, so you wouldn't know if they, if you have met some. Because seriously, Finnish people, I love Finnish people to bits. I've lived in the UK for a long time, for nearly, actually over 10 years now. I keep saying a couple of years, it makes me think, how old am I again? No, it's not a couple of years, it's just come to 10 years. And actually, Finnish people are really quiet. I love Finland. Finnish people are quiet, reserved, very loyal, amazing people. However, when you grow up in an environment, whether that's in a country or in an environment where maybe some of your strengths aren't being leveraged or aren't being accepted, and I'm all about, not that most teachers or parents love challenging, but I've always challenged. I'm the why person. Why should I do this? And I want to talk and explore. And when we're just blindly told to follow the system, I get a little bit rebellious and I start to question things. And I think a lot of us have that inside of us, but we don't always want to voice it. But what happened to me is a few years ago, I did a personality assessment. And I'm really into that now. I'm a qualified trainer, MBTI, so personality test. And actually finding out that personal brand, how to leverage your strengths and weaknesses. When I was told all my life, you talk too much, it's too much, you never stop, why do you question everything? And I thought there was something wrong with me. But actually, there isn't. Oh, well, maybe some people would still probably agree with that statement, but what it's actually about is that finding out how to use that strength and personal brand and what comes naturally to you. Because isn't life amazing when you can actually do something that you're truly passionate about? And that it doesn't require so much effort. That's why we're here, because you are leaders, because you found a different way. You saw a problem and you had enough of working to other people's terms. You now want to create something unique, and you can. But that can be a bit of a lonely game sometimes. But when you really understand your strength, so when I did that personality test, I came out as the debater. The debaters, less than 1% of women are debaters. So I started to think, and people in the world, Those are statistics of that. Don't hold me on that. That's obviously their statistics. However, it's quite interesting to see and how that explains why you do things the way you do. So why is that so important? It's because I've built my brand and business based on those values, and also created an amazing team and client base where people really are attracted to those values and key messages that you've got. So we just have to get really clear and proud of those things. And when someone says to me, oh God, you talk too much, I say, yeah, I do. And you know what? I've got plenty of podcasts, I've got videos, so if you want to download any of those, you can. So actually, you know what? Let's not be defensive anymore. Let's just go out to the big world and actually really start leveraging your true strengths, showing to the world why you have built this business and what is your idea all about. So I'm indeed the business development consultant and director at my company DiscoverChange, and what we do is specialize in accelerating business change, innovation and development. And I have particular passion for personal development, ancient history, philosophy, camping. I even went camping in October and it rained for 4 days. To be honest, on the third day I thought, why am I doing this? But it was still fun. And I love ancient history just because I find it very fascinating to find out actually what is controlling humanity, what is controlling our actions. And to be fair, I don't want this to sound a bit weird, but there are a lot of things in our system that isn't necessarily catering for unleashing our potential and our creativity. So let's do something about that. I also volunteer as a motivational trainer at schools and universities and deliver personal development sessions, inspirational career development sessions, anything to help people to really pursue their aspirations. My background is in training, change management and teaching, and hospitality management for a few years. I lived in 5 different countries. So I'm a bit of a changer myself. I love change, so again, something that you can embed your own values into your business. And some of my key values are things like innovation, strategy. I don't like wasting time. I don't like just analysing and overthinking everything. And yes, I like analysing, but when people do that for years and years, they don't necessarily go anywhere. And I'm sure you can see in other people. You started your businesses, you built successful businesses because you are the go-getters. But then other people say, well, it's easy for you. Well, it's not easy for me. I've done it anyway because even though I was scared, I took action regardless. So it's really important that you also rely on your values and identify what those are. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips towards the end how you can do that. And very briefly, just an overview about DiscoverChange. We provide change management programs and workshops and consulting. And also something that we do quite differently is that we create done-for-you systems. So this is something we've introduced in the last 2 years, particularly because there's only so many things that we can create ourselves. And yes, we can create all kinds of digital platforms. However, are those going to be commercial? Are they going to be fit for purpose? And actually, question in your own mind, how quickly do you want to achieve something? So I'm always thinking, I want things right now. How can I get there quickly? And what do I not know? So ask yourself, what do I not know to get to my vision? So that we can start pursuing that vision as strategically and systematically as possible. Because you can achieve it actually quite quickly if you just know exactly what you want. And we're going to get there soon. So we provide a range of business development consulting, done-for-you systems, digital platforms, lead generation processes, and team and leadership development. Now, these come through a few different ways, and we also have online courses, and one of the free gifts that you're going to get today is one of our online programs, actually. So, just a brief overview, because when it comes to bespoke development, it's difficult sometimes to understand what that actually looks like. So just very briefly, we work with an education charity who basically provide a range of different types of training and resources for students. And then they also have volunteers. So they wanted to create a platform that really engages with these target markets, both of them. And what we came up with and strategized and built the system to give induction and training and resources to these students. And why I'm sharing this with you is because literally this has cut 50% of their admin time on emails and everything else. So it's just one example, but it's just thinking about what are you spending extraordinary time on right now in your business that you really could do with not doing. And you should really be focusing on marketing, sales, and delivery. But if there's always gaps in the system, it's challenging, isn't it? So now I'm going to ask you, what is your business vision? Why did you start this business? What is there that you want to change in the world or in the society, or even if it's just in one person or one type of business or industry? So we all have different motivators, but when we get really clear on that, it's really quite powerful. So what I'd like you to do is actually with the person next to you, and you can work in 3 as well, Just for 1 minute each. You don't have to be scripted or anything, but just explore what exactly do you want to achieve in your business. Now, you might not know exactly. Maybe that is something like, oh, I want, freedom, certain kind of lifestyle. What is that lifestyle like? Don't just say, I want lots of free time, because you are all leaders. If you have lots of freedom, what do? You try and start a new project, don't you? Most of the time, as entrepreneurs, we're a bit like that. So actually, what is that dream lifestyle? Maybe there's a dream clientele that you would love to serve. Maybe there is a key vision that you want to create that change in the world. So if you two could work together, and if you could start first, as well on this side, and just talk about what is your business vision, what do you want to achieve, what matters to you, and we've got about 1 minute each, just under 1 minute each. So I'm going to time you a little bit so that we can stick to time.
Business vision, I suppose I want to be the best kept secret for being the go-to person for dealing with people's choice to change. I don't want to be famous. It wants to be secret, and I want people to find me and then recommend me. That's my vision. I don't want to last everywhere, but I want to be really good. Why is it important to be really good at it? Because there's a lot of failure out there, and a lot of fake people who say that they are coaches and they're this and they're that, and I'm the real deal.
What about the impact?
What the impact that they're
1 minute's nearly gone.
They're going to know that they've chosen the right person,
You want regular
and
reading
they're going to
hours,
know that whatever it is that
so that you know.
that I put them in driving seat of their changes. I'm not going to make changes, they're going to choose to, and wherever they decide to drive their changes, we will work on them together.
Can I make a suggestion? I think that makes a lot of sense. Totally
So if
understand.
you swap around.
Both the reason and the angle. I encourage that not to.
So if you carry on with the next person, 1 minute's gone.
Rather to focus on how, what difference you make to them. Because I suspect you will get this kitchen out of them doing really well. And
The secret part is my personal thing. I sort of
it's keeping you out of the limelight.
so I see a lot of coaches who put themselves everywhere, and I'm not that sort of person. I'd like to go in by the back door and just get on with it.
I have to change.
Yeah.
And it's the change that gets talked about. That will achieve what you're after. You need the message out there too. It's still really difficult.
Yeah.
But it makes a lot of sense.
Now it's your turn.
So what I'd like there to be an environment where people do things they're good at, where they love their work, where they genuinely enjoy what it is they do, whatever that is, and where if we're all doing the bit that we're good at and we love doing, the world will be an incredible place. We will overcome the big challenges we're faced. We will have happier people. We will be healthier people. Just wait, virtue of it. We will have more time to explore the other stuff we want to do. Because we're producing more, more productive, more effective. So for me, it's all about how do we get that environment where people do like you. My business isn't under my name. I'm not fussed about being, I don't want to
Got
be
half a minute left.
stood up in front of. I quite like saying I'm talking. Not about me. It's about this is the world we can be in. And this is the world that actually is hard for us to move to. And yet at the same time we are decades away from moving there because it's too difficult for we need to convince too many people to move. So
Just a few more
if I can
seconds.
help individuals move, if I can persuade companies to move,
So it's like throwing the kettle in the pond again, actually living with it.
yeah.
Is eventually.
Okay, so
And encouraging others to learn through the problem.
sometimes when we get started talking about it, it's like, oh, actually, what came up? What would you like to share? Just one or two things, just very briefly. What's one of your vision? Anything to?
I think from my point of view, it's I think sorry, I don't know your name.
Mike.
Mike's suggested that I don't want to be the best kept secret, but I did reframe that in my mind that I want to come in through the back door to do amazing work with people,
Yes.
but I don't want to be all over everywhere.
Mhm.
I want to be the go-to person,
Good.
but I'm quite happy to go for the results with the client, not necessarily about me being famous.
Okay. I like that. And Mike, yeah, you're a bit of a coach, aren't you? So instead of listening to the vision, you started coaching us through it, which is nothing wrong about that. That's great. And actually, that's good. You can be selective with your audience, absolutely. And actually, you're clearly you a bit of a reluctant hero. You don't necessarily want to be in the spotlight, but make a hero of the person maybe that you work with, and that's totally understandable. But certainly, when you start to really paint that big vision, it's you indeed want to be that go-to person. So we have to put ourselves out there quite a bit. It doesn't have to be in your face. It's only for the selected few. So really good. What about on this side? What would you say was one of your visions? Or
Yeah,
one of
so I was looking at, I kind of work like seven days a week, not necessarily full days, you know, because it's a bit here and a bit there. And I just like it structured so that I've got so many days working so many hours, and perhaps doing, you know, business to business, so that will be structured as well.
Excellent.
Whereas because I've not got a lot of clientele, I will just, if someone rings me up, I'll go whenever, just to make sure that.
So a bit more structure and clarity in the operations. Okay, very good point. And I think we can all relate to that, certainly. Thank you for sharing. And maybe just one more, if you could share, what did you put? Oh, what did you say?
My personal one was,
Yeah.
I guess I'm in that transition phase of having pretty much a full-time job, but trying to get my coaching off the ground. So
Excellent.
the idea is to flip it and coaching becomes a main thing.
Good. Excellent. And it's interesting, different ways of answering this question, isn't it? And if you don't mind me just pointing out, for example, something that you said, I don't want to, or I don't, you know, and actually and that's good because you know what you want and you also know what you don't want. And this is very powerful information most people don't know. You look at other people and they wonder why they don't get what they want in life. It's because they simply don't know how to refine it. Most people say, I just want to be happy. I just want to have enough clients. We have to be really actually specific about how we design and go towards our business vision. So when you say, okay, I just want some of these operations in place, 100%, we all do. We all need that. And we worked in organizations that are all over the place. However, what comes after? Why do you actually want those processes in place in the first place? You know, what's the point? Because some people don't have that. And actually, you know, look at the real big picture. What is pulling you? You know, is it that, you know, you're providing holistic therapies? You want to be known that go-to person, you know, the non-judgmental, the safe place, you know, that person that you can share, or people can share and confide that information with you, that is very actually quite sensitive information. And it's very difficult for them to admit that they sometimes need some of this support. But that we want to really have that big vision that you are that change maker in this industry. So actually you can become the key person of influence in a very subtle, nice way, so that people actually come and, let's say, chase after you rather than you having to chase after everyone else. And this takes a bit of time and patience, but actually it is about building really strong foundations to achieve your vision and get really clear on that. And I would like to give you just a task to do at some point later on this week, and this is probably actually one of the most empowering things you can do in your life, is write in detail, what is my perfect day like? What is my perfect day like? From literally every 10 minutes, what are you doing throughout the day? When I did this for the first time, about 8 years ago, my whole life changed because I realized I have lots of things that I wanted to do that I'm not allowing myself to dream of. So think big when it comes to your vision. Your vision needs to be really pulling you into it. So because if your vision is not big enough, what's going to happen? It's going to be really easy to quit. I had a business franchise for a few years, and it was bringing about 90% of my income. And overnight, and I had been doing that for about 2-3 years, and overnight that business went bust. That was really quite bad. And I could have, you know, gone back to a normal job, right? And, you know, some of those challenges that came across, that's really tough. That's really tough to handle it. You've invested a lot, 5 figures we've invested. It's not easy. But what was really important is, why am I doing this for? I didn't do this just to get a couple of bucks from this business franchise. It needs to be bigger than that. And what is actually the most common goal in the marketplace? Well, we all know what we need to make the business work. What's that? What do you need? What every business needs to make it work? Money, absolutely. Even if you are an organisation that's not for profit, you still need money. We need money no matter what. So actually a lot of people have love-hate relationship with money. We need to get out of that love-hate relationship. Everybody wants money, but not many people want to ask for it. There's a big issue and resistance there. But actually the most important goal in the marketplace indeed is your cash flow, is getting that money in, getting that customers in. And how does that come? It comes through providing more or better value. No matter what, I've tried to analyse everything, and this is what it comes down to, is you go and buy from someone and you might even invest lots of money because they are providing such excellent value to you. And you're happy to spend that. But let's now convert that into you, and that you can do that as well. If you position and package your services in a certain way, you can do that. So what does digital business transformation actually mean? Well, just very briefly, it's just the use of new technologies, fast and frequent change in digital technologies to resolve problems, simply put. And there are lots of different ways. So let's have a look at a couple of basic problems that a lot of people have. And over the years, I've analysed, done a lot of market research, observed online what people say in Facebook groups and all kinds. Everybody has the same problem. Everybody has the same problem. Is a clarity on how to get their ideal clients coming in all the time. But one of the key problems is slow or inconsistent follow-up. Somebody might have to wait for weeks for your call. They said, I'm interested. Did you follow up with them? Or actually, you know, when they say, can you send me some more information? The amount of time when people don't send you anything, when you say, can you send me some more information? You never hear from them again because they don't have this. But you can do that, and you can also automate all of your follow-up in such a way that you give information very strategically, drip-fed information, your client successes, what you're all about, how can your services help them, and also give them tips, not just about you, because really they don't care about you. You know, what makes you most successful in business is when you give other people what they want, you get what you want. That's just as simple as it gets. But we want to automate emails or follow-up, and there are different ways to do that. Not enough customers is probably one of the most common issues. However, online lead generation now, you can generate leads also offline, of course. Social media only came to existence about 15 years ago. However, it is the way the market now works, and if you're not using it and leveraging it, we might be missing a trick. So let's use it, because if they don't buy from you, they're going to go to someone else. And isn't that someone else going to provide, let's face it, it's not going to be as good as yours. So just put yourself out there, and we need to put that strong profile, personal brand, know what we stand for. And our free gift will show you a lot more on that later on. Some people have high staff turnover, or some businesses have high staff turnover, or maybe there's a lot of staff, so there's a lot of time spent on training and inducting people. So actually what we provide is streamlined induction and training. So how to actually provide this information. It's all about providing information in a digital format. Now, customers might need more one-to-one time. This is always the thing, isn't it? Is no matter what you do, actually people want a bigger piece of you. You know, you all provide one way or another your one-to-one approach, consulting, and actually what's so important is that we are there almost all the time. Imagine if you're there at the forefront of their mind all the time. They say, well, I need to, you know, Dean, I really could do with Dean's training, and Dean says, well, you know what, the next slot is, you know, in 2 months, or my exclusive program is £2,000. Some people don't simply have access to that kind of money. Some do, some don't. But what happens is when you create digital information products, you could create a series of online training, 5-minute videos, 10 of them, for example, to explain the basics of sales coaching, how to accelerate your sales. And then when you put that in a certain way and you give this value to people, of course they will come to you because you've made that impact. You've given them that energy and motivation to move forward. So it's really important that, yes, there are problems. Don't self-sabotage. Most people do all the time. They say, well, I'm a bad leader, I'm this and that, I'm not this. I know, I've been there, and I'm still sometimes there. But very quickly, we need to notice that and then go to solution. Because that's really what it's all about. If you think big and you have that big vision, you can achieve big things as well. But we have to put that process in place, or that system in place, in order for you to get those results. And one most common entrepreneurial syndrome, we want it all, don't we? I want it all, but I don't have enough time. And sometimes years in, we're still doing the things that should actually take only about a month or so. And it's really important that we identify, you know what, there are so many things that you can actually attract to you right now. It's amazing, isn't it, when you think about someone and they text you on that moment? It's not an accident. I believe in energy, I believe in law of attraction, whether you think that's hoo-ha or not, but law of attraction does work, because what you put out there, you get back. If you only say, I only get bad clients, nobody wants to spend any money, then I guarantee that's exactly the people that will come to you. But if you say, I have very carefully selected, hand-selected clients that I work with, you know, they are in the 5 figures, that's who you will attract. But you've got to put that message out there, not just in your head, but also online. So what are the challenges in getting started with innovation when there are lots of time? I haven't got time to implement this new process. I haven't got time to go on a course and learn all the stuff, basic things. I haven't got the money. How can I have the money? I can't invest the money on this process, but actually what we talked about earlier, people invest 2-3 grand on a website and nobody ever goes to that website. What's happening? It's because they invest in the wrong process. They don't invest in processes that has clear return on investment. You should only really invest in processes that you know there is clear ROI. Maybe there is not enough support. Maybe your staff, maybe it's difficult with the staff, or you know somebody's not really pulling their weight, or there's resistance to change. Maybe you work with a partner, say, oh, we've tried it, it doesn't work, nothing works. People will say nothing works, they probably hardly tried really anything. Direction. Don't know where I'm going. What's the point in investing or doing something new when I don't really know? Is there any point? Or should I just leave this business? Should I take it to the next level? Should I rebrand? Should I, whatever that might be. Actually, direction is one of the key things. Motivation is a major one. We talk about staff motivation, but leaders, we have to be our own biggest pep talkers, don't we? And every morning, the self-talk, the level of your self-talk, the quality of your self-talk is absolutely paramount to your success. Because what you say, you get. What you say and see is what you get. So we have to put really positive messages out there, motivate ourselves, and also motivate other people to take action, because that's what really you're doing as a leader. You may not look at some people say, well, I'm a leader, but I don't really see myself as a leader because I don't have a team. But is that right? When you're a leader, if you're a micro business, one entrepreneur in the business, are you a leader? Yeah. How come if you don't have a necessarily a team?
You're doing everything. It's on you as to the direction it's going in, whether it's successful or not, the style, the culture.
Definitely.
But also the way you interact with everyone else around you, your customers, your suppliers.
Yes.
Everything.
100%. Every stakeholder that you interact with, customers, suppliers, you're leading them to a certain direction because you want them to do something for you, don't you? So whatever way, you are absolutely leading the process. Confidence is a major thing. You know, I'm not confident enough yet. But actually, you know what? All of these are thoughts. These are red flags. These are thoughts that, you know, that one thought is what pauses the momentum and stops. And actually, by just saying, well, it's too expensive, and some people say too expensive for years, when they just invested 1 month, they could have made the money back, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago. But they can't get out of that way of thinking. Or some people blame their customers. It's unbelievable. Some people actually blame their customers. Some people say it's too risky. Some people say we've tried everything but nothing works. That's an interesting one. We've tried everything. If you've tried everything, really it should be working already. So what we need to do is we need to get out of that mindset of being problem focused. And really when you stop that self-doubt, others can greatly benefit. We work with a few people, hate doing videos, finally put that video online, hate it, criticize every bit of it, and guess what? People come into them because, oh, I didn't realize this is what you do. I didn't realize that you're so passionate about this. Oh, what you did and said was amazing. Seriously, stop the self-doubt. Think about, are you focused on problems or solutions? There are 2 types of people in this world. Either you're problem-focused or solution-focused. We can shift between both, but what do you think most people are? Problem or solution-focused? Absolutely, problem-focused. We leaders are solution-focused, but you know what? We are catering sometimes for the masses, so we need to understand their problems, but we must not be problem-focused. We must move on. And don't be the best-kept secret. A lot of people have amazing testimonials. They've got the biggest skill set, biggest strengths, biggest potential. They just are not sure how to put it out there. And actually, it's simpler than you might think. But focus on providing that better value and really get known for it. Get known by your work ethics. Show that you are the right person to buy from. But your people will only know what you tell them. So they can't read your mind. They can't see it. You have to tell it to them. Otherwise, they might go to someone else because they just didn't know about you. So don't worry. They're coming, but we have to put that message out there. So now, just for about 1 minute, actually more like 30 seconds per person, just talk about what are some of the 3 to 5, maybe 2, 3, 5 challenges that your customers face. So what are their biggest difficulties right now? So I need you to think quick and jot a couple of things down. And, you know, is it, for example, lack of focus, you know, or is it like lack of confidence, or is it, you know, no processes in place, or is it stress in the marriage, or is it financial difficulties? What are their key difficulties? Another way to look at it is, what is keeping them up at night? Right before they fall asleep, what are they thinking? Oh my God, tomorrow I have to do this. And what is that thing? And just take a couple of moments just to write down some key things. So hopefully you've got that. Hopefully that should come quite quickly. So just to hear a couple, Dean, would you mind just sharing just a couple?
Well, some of my customers might typically say the opportunities that I have taken too long to close.
Yes?
Way too long.
Too long. Yeah, absolutely. Too long lead time, absolutely. Good. What else? Mike, what did you put?
For small businesses, that they're not getting enough money out of the work they're doing.
Yes.
So they're too busy, but don't feel it's getting them the reward they want.
Absolutely. They're wasting a lot of time. How does that make them feel?
Oh, really down about it.
Yeah,
it
really
makes
down.
them question whether they've got any worth.
Yes.
It's self-fulfilling, isn't it?
Totally.
Don't believe you're worth, so you don't charge it.
Oh, 100%. Oh, that's like a one-day workshop to actually get out of that mindset. Definitely, but actually instead of just saying, oh, we're not making enough money, but also understanding that they are extremely frustrated, stressed out, there's major self-doubt issues. So actually how to benefit from that is now you want to convert that into what 3 things do you help customers with? Different wording. So this must be different wording. So actually have a look at what you've just written down, and at least for 2 or 3 of them, just come up with a very quick solution. So what do you actually provide? So if you say, well, self-doubt is a major issue, what do you actually do to help them with that? So don't write a novel, but, you know, because confusion is quite bad. So we want to try and refine it into really, really short, narrow steps. So actually, what 3 things do you help your customers with? And hopefully you can come up with a couple of answers quite quickly. Just 15 more seconds to try and come up with a few solutions. Okay, so was there a difference in the way that you answered? Dean, what did you put?
Well, we help customers to set goals.
Yes?
And to find the activities that they need to do to achieve them.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. So help you to set clear, consistent goals that you can implement into your daily life, quite quickly, actually. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'd love to spend a lot more time on this, but we are obviously under time limit, and I will give you some information later on. And I've got some of your details for but it's most important is that you actually now position yourself as the expert. Show that you understand their problems. This is one post. Show that you have the solution for their problem. Put that in the same post. Explain that you understand what they're going through, and that way you can position yourself as the expert in resolving that problem. Not necessarily industry expert, but resolving that particular problem. So I'm going to show you a lead generation process, and I now urge you to write down, and I'll share this also in your free gift in your course that you get access to. But we have to start our lead generation process by having a very strong brand, which means your online profiles, which means that you also have very clear clarity on your websites or whatever platforms you're using. What do you do? What do you provide? And even as simple as what you've just written down must be on your website. Then we move on to promotion. Now actually decide, what do you want to promote? Do you want to promote a workshop? Do you want to promote a coaching session? Do you want to promote whatever you want to promote? And actually, but that only has to come after the branding, because when you promote something, people are going to say, who is this person? And they look you up, and if they can't find anything, you might lose that lead, you might lose that customer. Then you create a lead magnet. I'm going to show you in a moment what that is. Do you know what lead magnet is? Anybody heard of it? Great. What is it?
So it's your initial hook to say, so they may or may not have heard of you, but what is it that's going to pique their interest in the first place? Might be a 5-minute video, short
That's
webinar,
it.
whatever. They do that, and at the end of that, you typically go, we can do some more for you.
100%. How can you remove all the stress and doubt from sales and hit the goals that you have needed? That could be your lead magnet, a 5-minute video or a webinar. Data capture, you're not just giving this webinar for free, you are actually capturing their email so that you can follow up with them. Then analytics show, this is very advanced basically, but analytics will show what kind of audience do you actually have, who is consuming this. This is such important information. For example, I was talking to this lovely lady earlier and you said there's always a particular clientele approaching me. That's very important analytics because you see that they are attracted to you, so you should leverage that. Then, of course, we need to engage and sell. Gap between those two could be quite big, so that's really, really important that we do that engagement in an online format, for example, through digital information products, sending them the email automation I talked about earlier. So this is how to then bring it together and actually post-sales, because how many times do people actually buy something and then they regret it later? Send them a gift, say that this is the right decision, make a big deal out of it, and show that you truly care and you can't wait to get started. So I'm going to obviously share this with you and send you more information afterwards as well so that you can really hit the ground running with that. But just a couple of notes about lead magnets. It has to be easy to access, it has to attract your ideal clients. So the words need to be tailored for your ideal clients. If you want to attract CEOs, I wouldn't call yourself a life coach. You know what I mean? And I see a lot of people doing that. You shouldn't do that. You need to make sure that you're speaking the language of your clients. Identify immediate needs, just like what you've done today. You've written down a couple of things, you've written down how you're going to resolve those, show you care, use branding, and have a clear call to action. So how to add value to your customer's journey? I'm going to give you 2 minutes, so now you've created some of that content, so you can now start your lead magnet. So literally in 2 minutes, because you've already got the idea in your mind, write down what is your lead magnet called, what is the biggest problem your customer now has, or one of them, one of the key ones. Choose one type of content, whether that's a webinar, ebook, course, or a guide. And then those things that you just wrote down, 3 things that you help your customers with. So if you just want to write that down, literally with a couple of bullet points, and actually you can walk away and start to create this content and put it into as simple as a PDF document. And the last thing is, what is the CTA? What's a CTA? It's a call to action. So what do you actually, you're not just giving all this free stuff for them because you love them, but you're actually giving this to them to say, hey, by the way, if you want to get to your goal quickly, because you are the vehicle of change for them. You are the vehicle that takes them from A to B to C to D and so forth, but show them what they need to do now. You've got to show them and tell them exactly, and don't give too many options. So just take about 30 seconds now, while I've been talking, hopefully I can see that most of you are writing, that you're ready to share this with the person next to you. And one thing I would really say, what to call, this is a tough one. You could say 3 steps to become a more effective leader. 3 steps or 3 tips to remove stress from your business. Something that they are really struggling with right now. What is that big issue that they have? CTA, call to action. So actually now you've given them 3 tips. Sorry, we're just finishing in a couple of minutes. You've given them 3 tips. Now what do you want them to do? Maybe call you, maybe fill in a form, and do come and speak to us afterwards so I can, because this is all bespoke. So I can't give you the exact way of how it's going to be done, but if you come and have a chat with us, we have a stand just at the back, and actually we can share with you how this could be done for your business. So now just for 1 minute, even less, maybe 30 seconds per person, so you really have to accelerate that one. Share one of the tips or strategies. But I really urge you now, you've got 30 seconds each. And Mike, make sure that you share yours as well, rather than starting coaching. So Mike, if you start this time, Dean, if you go first, and you've got about 20 seconds each to do that. So what is one of the things that you help your customers with?
Okay. Well, it's all right. I can say it really quickly. So I think it's something I've been looking at weddings, either a short video or a handout, and on that, people that don't price their stuff well enough effectively. pricing, style management, playing to strengths, and then
You've got 1 minute left.
Yeah.
I think
Quick, just one tip, share one tip.
time to actually make this a reality, and then it's the bit before about how to share on social media to get people.
So you've got 20 seconds left, so hopefully you've got...
That's one.
you
Starting
I could hear some of yours, yeah.
There's something for-
So what strategy do your customers need right now? So what have you come up with? Just very quickly. Yeah?
Yeah, that's what I speak on creativity.
Okay,
Commercial
excellent.
creativity.
You can take
And step one is the environment. So ultimately encouraging people to get out of the office, find out where they're going to have their creative thinking,
Okay,
and working on the business instead of in the business.
right, okay. That's a very common phrase, but not many people necessarily understand what that actually means. So when it comes to creativity, how to unleash your creativity and leverage your strengths could be one name for your lead magnet. Could also be about how to stop other people impacting on you in a negative way. Right, that's most people's biggest problem, is other people affect us in a negative way. So come up with a catchy headline. I'd love to spend more time with you, but we can do that on the stand and talk about that. So now I just want to wrap up and talk about, just for you to really get clear what value you provide. You see now a couple of tips that you've done, and probably actually you might have learned from the person next to you, actually, I could do with a bit of work on that area. Write out about that and know what benefit that brings. Does it bring cost savings? Does it bring health and wellness? How do you package your products and services? So branding is a key aspect. So how to get started? First of all, finish off your lead magnet, what you started today. Create digital information products and repeat tasks. Let us know if you want any help and come and have a chat with us on the stand. There's also a code that you can scan in, but we're going to do that afterwards, and that actually gives you automated videos, resources. You can use messenger marketing in your business as well. It's great. And I'm going to give you access to a free gift, which is a business innovation workshop. I think I've got your details actually. So if I can grab your name and just the rest of the details there, I'm going to send you the information. If you want to accelerate your digital development and remove the guesswork and frustration from that process, it takes months sometimes. We provide digital education and engagement platforms, marketing and sales automation, and branding and innovation. So if you want packaging, pricing, not sure how to do that, that's what we provide. And in a very accelerated format as well. So we don't mess about. This is not some 6 months coaching program, but it's actually getting it done on that month. And there's also a masterclass, which is personal branding and business strategy workshop we've got online. It's 20% off right now. So if you're interested in that, again, come and speak to me on the stand. And just very quickly, I wanted to share with you one testimonial. And she said already after first month, she's hugely benefited. Launched her first courses, done 3 keynotes, got subscribers, sold her online courses. So when you know what you want, and Pam certainly does, you can get there really quickly. And we just want to map out that journey for you and actually do most of that technical development. So I'm going to give you your free gift if you've added your details onto that piece of paper. We're going to go through your vision, how to accelerate change, your online marketing and sales process, personal branding, and actually how to do your personal profiles online, because that's a minefield, and how to basically get your gift is you can scan the code or leave your details, and I've got all of that anyway. So I want to leave this off with one of my favorite quotes, is that the best way to predict your future is that you create it. You decide what your vision is. Don't allow other people to step in your way, because you are here for a great good. You're here to provide something truly meaningful and different. So you should be very proud of yourselves that you've come this far, and don't let anything stop you, but create now that empowering future of yours. So thanks so much for joining today, and have a chat with us later on, and we can talk about your ebooks or webinars as well. So thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.